is the time of year to ride to the Great Pumpkin. On Halloween night, the Great Pumpkin rises out of his pumpkin patch and flies through the air with this bag of toys for all the children.
You must be crazy. When are you going to stop believing in something that isn't true?
When you stop believing in that fellow with the red suit and the white beard who goes ho, ho, ho.
We are obviously separated by denominational differences.
You better cut it out right now or I'll pound you. There are 3 things I have learned never to discuss with people: religion, politics, and the Great Pumpkin.
One of the reasons a film like It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, resonates so strongly with so many people is because it can fit to our great variety of viewpoints and belief systems. Right? I truly believe this film could be applied to any number of religious traditions, and we could bear it out and view the story in our own way based on our religious beliefs. This makes the film more engaging. It makes us want to watch it more. Right, so today I'm going to look at several different extremely popular faith traditions and analyze the film from their perspective, or at least attempt to. Right, the atheist view, there is no God, right? So one might ask, is this even a faith tradition? Well, atheists certainly have faith there is no God, so for the purposes of this video, it is a faith tradition, and certainly there's also dogma, right? If I went to FSU's Atheist Club and disrespected Brian from Family Guy, right, I would not be treated very well by them because I had broken their dogma and disrespected their great holy figure, Brian from Family Guy, right? So they would hold that within the film, Linus, by waiting for the Great Pumpkin all night, is being stupid. He is behaving like all religious people, right? He's an idiot. He's just sitting there, waiting for hours and hours and mocking him. The people mock him in the atheist view are correct, right? But atheism might have mixed feelings on his sister, Lucy, who at the end of the film comes and takes him inside, helps him out, takes him in after the cold night, puts him in bed, right? This does not fit the Darwinian idea of survival of the fittest, right? She's caring for her family, caring for her brother, right? Atheists are not as assertive about the nuclear family usually as religious people are, right? There is the value debate among atheists, right, about the value of caring for others, the need to care for others, and the Darwinian idea of survival of the fittest. That's why you cannot view atheism as some sort of singular or there's no singular view of atheism, right? There are distinctions among atheists on different other philosophical beliefs. All right, the agnostic reading of the film, Linus could be an idiot if the Great Pumpkin is fake and he's doing this meaningless ritual waiting for the Great Pumpkin in the pumpkin patch, right? Or he could be correct and faithful, right? Because if the Great Pumpkin is real, then the way he's behaving is perfectly reasonable and it's appropriate and it's the correct decision, right? But would an agnostic even allow there to be a reading of the film, right? Because in the agnostic view, neither of these things are true, and also they're both true because they both could be true. The agnostic view does not commit to one particular meaning or one particular truth, right? The agnostic idea, right? Oh, there could be a God. I don't know. Right? And I actually think this argument and this reading of the film follows from some of Charles Schulz's statement, he was a Christian, but he did say the film was not about religion. He said it was simply a fun idea he had about a kid mixing up Christmas and Halloween, right? So in the agnostic view, there's no clear reading of the film, right? In Charles Schulz's view, there's no real religious theme to the film, right? Those are kind of the same thing. Any reading of the film could be true, especially agnosticism, which says that pretty much anything can be true. Right, okay, Gnosticism, its own thing, very different, aligns with New Age spirituality, right? They're going to hold that the Great Pumpkin is real, but he lives inside Linus. That's the real Great Pumpkin. He's living inside Linus, right? Okay. The pagan and nature worship reading, they're going to focus on only one scene in the film.
we're gonna kill it.
And they're going to hold that the pumpkin is part of the divine. And so, yes, Linus is correct to be angry about the pumpkin being killed and its guts poured out, right? The rest of the film they're going to ignore. They have no interest in anything else. They just want to talk about nature. Okay. Oh, we've got the Wiccan Celtic pagan view, right? The Celtic pagans who, of course, were involved in the creation of Halloween. Maybe. I don't know if that's true. That's what people say. And then when people argue about it and other people say it's because of All Saints' Day. But they're going to hold that this scene in the film is important. And again, pretty much ignore the rest. Right, but that is, I do wonder if they're getting at sort of an allusion to some of the Celtic traditions behind Halloween. Very interesting. I didn't notice that scene in any of the other times I've watched the film. Okay, now we're going to move into the Christian readings, which there are numerous of because there's great diversity among Christianity between our different idiosyncratic beliefs, right? We've got a Catholic reading, which would hold that if waiting in the pumpkin patch for the great pumpkin was a sacred tradition, something passed down by the church fathers, passed down through apostolic succession, well then Linus is justified. It makes perfect sense for him to wait for the great pumpkin, whether he will come or not, because the church fathers did so, the holy tradition did so, the infallible pope said so, right? And if not, if it's not sacred tradition, Linus is behaving foolishly. He's behaving carelessly. The Catholic will also likely mock Linus's emphasis on his own faith, sincerity, and individuality, right? He doesn't go out and say everyone should believe in the great pumpkin. He believes in the great pumpkin, and he has personally had this revelation, this conclusion that the great pumpkin is going to come, right? That's something that is emphasized in some Protestant faith traditions, not in Catholicism. That's a big source of mockery and debate between Catholics and Protestants. All right, we're going to have the Reformed and Calvinist reading of the film, which is something like this clip from John MacArthur.
Do you think Christians should celebrate Halloween?
No, it's just ridiculous. What is it about? It's just a bunch of, it feels more demonic every year, and you know, they start pumping out all these books and all these movies and all these television programs that are just satanic fantasies of horror and just awful. No.
Okay, moving on. Here's the Lutheran view, right? They're going to hold that the Great Pumpkin is not in the Bible. It cannot be defended within the Bible. And they're not really interested in hearing about the Great Pumpkin. They instead want to spend their October focusing on the Reformation and drinking beer. All right, so final thoughts. As we can all tell, there's no one clear reading of the film, and every element of the film doesn't fit into one particular worldview, right? To accept one of these views of the film, you have to deny other parts of the film, or not acknowledge other parts of the film. You're only going to focus on specific elements of the story. Right. So, Linus does emphasize his sincerity in belief, and that he emphasizes that is the most important thing.
Each year the great pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch that he thinks is the most sincere. He's got to pick this one. He's got to. I don't see how a pumpkin patch can be more sincere than this one.
Right, he says sincerity is central to the dogma of the great pumpkin, right?
P.S. If you really are a fake, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
But let's examine this view closer, right? He believes that if he sincerely believes something, then it must be true, right? None of these faith traditions hold to that idea. No faith tradition holds that sincerity is what determines truth, and they shouldn't, right? That wouldn't make sense. If I believe something sincerely, it's true, right? Everyone has sincere beliefs. So obviously that's not the standard by which we can judge truth, right? If that were the standard, then there would be no objective truth, as some people love to claim, right? But I'm not going to assert that. I don't back that assertion. I think that there is objective truth, and then the talking in subjective truth is trivial. Right now, it's acceptable when we're talking about a film, but if we're talking about reality, there are certain objective truths that govern our reality, right? Okay. I cannot fit The Great Flight of Snoopy Against the Red Baron into any of these readings of the film. It's almost like it goes beyond any one belief system, and it's something that we can all commonly watch and connect with, and just think it's really cool. Okay, oh, the dog kiss scene.
Ugh, my lips touch dog lips! Ugh, ugh, poison dog lips! Ugh, ugh!
Right, that could very easily fit into perhaps a Muslim reading of the film, but I'm not gonna go there. Okay, I want to end with this clip from Linus talking about his own piety and righteousness.
Now, if the great pumpkin comes, I'll still put in a good word for you. Good grief, I said if. I meant when he comes. I'm doomed. One little slip like that can cause the great pumpkin to pass you by.
And counter that with a word from the Apostle Paul. The God who made the world and everything that is in it, since he is Lord of heaven and earth, does not dwell in temples made by hands, nor is he served by human hands as though he needed anything, since he himself gives to all people life and breath and all things. Thank you. That's pretty straightforward.